On. All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this bonus special training that we're doing today as part of the Unstoppable Badass Masterclass. And Andrew is going to be one of the incredible speakers at the event, specifically talking about hormones, which is so important because if you feel bloated all the time, if there are certain foods that you're eating that just don't really cooperate with your system and you want to be able to eat whatever you want without bloat, you want to feel high energy all the time, you want to have an incredible metabolism, you need to work on actually balancing your hormones. And Andrew is going to be speaking about that at the event. But what I want to take a moment to talk about today is relationships and how, more specifically, when I fully stepped into the unstoppable badass version of myself, how much our relationship has really improved. So, we're going to be talking about that today. And it's not even just relationships with your partner, it's relationships in general, whether this is a family member, it's a coworker, whether it's, if you have children, being able to just have really strong relationships in your life is really, really important. So I'm excited. If you're excited, drop something in the chat. Let me know that you are excited. This is going to be a really powerful training. So Andrew, did you want to even just maybe take a second to maybe want to just like introduce yourself for like a 2 second thing or whatever you want to share?
100%. First of all, I'm really excited to be on this call because I've never been on one of your calls. So this is awesome. I feel like I've made it into the world of Lorna, which is so exciting. So I love seeing a bunch of you gals on camera as well. As a little introduction to me, I was a hormone coach for like, oh geez, probably an entire decade of my life. No, just close to 8 years. Helped a lot of people with balancing their hormones, helping get healthy, and worked with a lot of women myself on things like digestion, better energy, just better metabolism. But one of, I'd say, the biggest accomplishments in my life actually had nothing to do with coaching. It was meeting Lorna. So we've been in a relationship for a hot minute. It's so funny because and a lot of you guys may not know this, but when I first started dating Lorna, we decided to go into business together before we decided to get married. So we did this whole thing of like, we had to ask her parents to start like a business venture. And then we went and got engaged. Traditional route of our like the the building of our businesses as well as the building of us together really kind of played a role into contributing to who we are and what made our relationship really strong. So I'm excited to be able to chat about relationships today.
Yeah. And, obviously this is just from our perspective as well, too. But I think really when it comes down to relationships, there's really three key things that really make a strong, solid relationship. And we're going to kind of go through each one of these. The first one being communication, the second one being support, and the third one being growth. And so when it comes to communication, right, again, being able to confidently speak your needs to your partner is one of the most valuable things in a relationship. Andrew used to tell me all the time, I can't read your mind. And, Andrew so often would say, partners can read body language. Like they know when you're not doing so hot, or they know when something's on your mind and you're just not saying something. And so often Andrew would say, you know, like, what's wrong? Like, is everything okay? I can tell that like something is off. And I had a really hard time expressing my emotions for a few different reasons. I think a huge aspect of it at the beginning was, again, this lack of confidence, right? It's this lack of confidence of, I don't even know what emotions I'm feeling. It's like, I don't even, I can't even express to you how I'm feeling. I just know that I'm somewhat upset, but I don't really know what I'm upset about. And it's this, I don't even really know. I'm not really that tapped into my emotions. So it's kind of hard for me to even vocalize what, like, how I'm actually feeling. And then I think a second thing too, in terms of communication, and something that I struggled with in the past, was there was also this fear of like everyone has their own things that they're kind of going through, right? Like everyone's going through their own whatever it is that they're actually going through. It's like I don't want to be a burden. I don't want to have to share all of these things that I'm going through, because now you're going to have to hold what I'm going through while also having to hold, whatever it is that you're going through. And something that I have obviously gotten really good at was, first, I need to get clear on the emotions that I'm feeling. And this goes beyond I'm happy. This goes beyond I'm sad. It's like, what am I actually feeling? And can I actually have the confidence to express, yeah, I'm really mad right now. Yeah, I'm actually really frustrated right now. Yeah, you know what? I'm actually not okay. Because if you don't know what emotions you're experiencing, or you're not able to actually vocalize it, what ends up happening is you bottle things in. And then 3 weeks later, now you have this thing that bothered you, this thing that bothered you, this thing that bothered you. And then all at once, you're dumping all these things on your partner. And you're like, well, you know what? 3 weeks ago, you did this. And then 2 weeks ago, you did this. And then 1 week ago, you did this. And not only is that not fair for your partner, it's also so draining and very difficult for yourself to bottle up these emotions and have to hold this in yourself. As human beings, like we were meant to feel through our emotions, of course, but also verbalize it, and actually feeling safe to share exactly what's on your mind, and knowing that your partner wants to know when something's up. Your partner knows when something is up. So whether you actually vocalize it or you bottle it up, it's like this weird tension between you guys. If you're not vocalizing it and you're not actually communicating that, it's like there's just people can feel. You don't even have to say anything. People can know something is up. And that's why it's so important to just share exactly what's on your heart, what's on your mind, because your partner can know something is up, but they can't read your mind of exactly what is going on.
It's interesting, and I don't know if you remember this, but at the beginning of our relationship, I had to almost act as the relay and tell people what you were looking for, what your needs were,
Yep.
because when we first started, you were really confident when you were with your clients, or really confident when you were with really tight people, but people that you didn't know, like she would come over to my family's house, and then she would shy away from telling people that she this is what I was looking for, this is, or where's the washroom, and like little things. And I acted as being an in between. And what happened was, when I would try to communicate for her, I would guess, and that would be even worse for her,
Mhm.
because maybe I didn't guess what she wanted in the right way, or I didn't ask for the specific thing that she was specifically looking for. And this is why one of the first things that we tackled was communication, because it's not just the things that you say, it's really focusing on the things that you don't say. So communication breakdown in a relationship starts by stepping over like a brick at a time. These walls where sometimes you may feel like it's really hard to talk to your partner happen where you step over something and you say to yourself, you know what? It's not a big deal right now. Maybe you don't want the argument. Maybe you don't want the tough conversation. Maybe you think to yourself, actually, this is something that I can live with in the moment. And so what you do is you step over that and you've laid your first brick. And what happens is that brick becomes 15 bricks, 20 bricks, half a wall. And now it feels like every time you try to have a conversation with your partner, you have to step over this wall to then go and get your point across or get something through. That happened brick by brick, and it happened a brick at a time. And there's two pieces of communication. There's having the confidence to first step into yourself to bring something up. That comes from you. And then also having the knowingness and willingness that when you communicate, you got to be clear on what it is that you want. We have to be confident enough to first share an emotion. Here's how I feel. And there's a little bit of vulnerability that comes with that. But then you have to get clear because every single one of your partners at the very beginning of our relationship, there was a lack of almost clarity. Here's how I feel. And then as a doer, I love being a chronic doer. Like, let me help you. What do you need? And then it's like, I don't know.
Hmm.
That comes when confidence wavers. When you are not fully sure of who you are, when you can't fully step into yourself because you feel like no one's going to accept you, because you feel like maybe your kids are going to see you differently, or you have preconceived notions of what that best version of yourself is, it's hard for you to ask for things. And this is where you can still feel something, but not actually portray to your partner or to the people around you what exactly you need and what you're looking for.
I think that's a really important piece too, and something that we've gotten really good at. It's like, I'm going to bring something forward to you, and I'm not looking for advice. I am looking for you to just hold space. Because the first thing that if you share something with your partner, maybe it's a struggle, maybe it's a problem, or whatever it is, if a partner shares something like that with you, you're going to be like, you want to obviously go and fix it, right? We all go into like almost fixing mode. Why don't you try this? Why don't you do this? Oh, how about this? And sometimes that can be even more frustrating because it's like, oh, wait a minute. I'm not looking for advice. I'm not looking for you to quote unquote fix me. I am just wanting to express something. So, something that Andrew and I got really good at was, hey, Andrew, there has been something on my heart right now, and I just need you to hold space. But it's not just communicating at any given time that's valuable or convenient for you. How about the other person? If I'm going to share something, I'm going to share something that's on my heart or something that's bugging me or whatever the case may be. And Andrew has an appointment with one of his clients in 10 minutes. Is that really wise of me to share something when he has to be, alert in a certain way in the next 10 minutes? Probably not. So the two key things there is number one, you have to ask, this is what I'm looking for, or this is not what I'm looking for. I just need you to hold space. I'm just going to vent right now. I don't need advice. I don't need you to tell me what to do. I need somebody to kind of just vent to. And then the second thing that I often ask Andrew, and he asks me, do you have space right now? Do you have space for me to share something? Instead of just openly word vomiting at 3 o'clock in the afternoon or right after we're both done work and we're literally so tired. It's like, hold on a minute. Is this a good time to communicate? And Andrew and I even we schedule like meetings on Google Calendar, and we invite each other to these meetings where we actually have certain times of the week where we talk about certain things, which I think is really important as well too. So it's not just like, hey, whenever I'm free, I'm going to share something with you. It's like, it's very important as well too to have both parties in a place and at a time where it is appropriate to share certain things as well too.
The meeting came from we were finding that we were bringing things up. And when we would bring it up in the moment, we never actually had time to unpack it. So then we had to have the conversations again. And a large part of communication, and I'll put the word effective in front of it, effective communication is we don't keep talking about it over and over again. That's not how we communicate as partners. When we talk about something, it's to either find a resolution, to hold space, and then move forward. Remember, just like your relationships are continuing to grow and you continue to grow as a human being, we can't replay the same conversations. We can't bring up things, but then not have enough time to actually finish that conversation. And so I think it was like year two or year three, we were like, you know what? Whenever we have business conversations, we clear things up because there's almost like an objective, like what are we looking to kind of do with this? We should bring the same thing into our communication. How can we set aside intentional time where I can be all in and fully listen to you? You're all in and you listen to me. If there's things that we need to address, if we need to bring stuff up, then we can do that, but we can do that coming from a place where it's completed.
Yeah. Yeah. But that also comes back through like the confidence piece of like, I'm confident. I know how I'm feeling. I also know what I need from this conversation. And it collapses the amount of time that you're actually speaking about something. If you're not confident in what you're looking for in that conversation, that a 2 minute conversation can last an hour because you're just kind of going around the bush. I don't really know what I need from you. And then you're trying to figure out, wait, what do I actually need from my partner? And when you're more confident in expressing yourself and, okay, these are the emotions I'm feeling, this is what I'm wanting from my partner, we've turned like 1 hour conversations into like a 5 minute thing of like, boom, this is how I'm feeling. This is what I need from you. And it's just so much more effective because I'm confident in who I am and what I need. And it doesn't have to be this long, drawn out conversation.
Speaking of that kind of feedback piece, at the beginning, when we didn't have that confidence, we would ask each other for feedback on like every little thing or the
Yes.
tiniest problem.
Yes.
As a confident person, understand that your partner is not supposed to help you with every tiny thing that you're looking to work on towards. I would ask Lorna a million questions and she'd ask me a little questions for feedback for things because she didn't have the confidence in that moment to say, you know what, I've already made a decision, but like, I'm just going to run it by you to see so I can become enough more confident in it to actually decide that. Instead, we focused when we stepped into that confidence, we focused on like, what is going to be the thing that I need to move forward with this?
Mm-hmm.
Not gathering feedback on every little thing or sharing something with our partner that like there was an uncertainty within us. Instead, it was like the conversations we're having is like, what is going to grow us? What are we going to do so we can move forward and become stronger about it?
Mm-hmm. And that really comes back to trust and intuition, which we even talked about yesterday. It's like when you fully trust yourself, you don't need to get validation from other people to make sure that you're on the right path. It's like, this is what I'm doing. Like, even when it came down to even healing my relationship with food, I wasn't like, Andrew, do you think I should work on my relationship with, or like, do you think I should hire this coach? I'm like, I'm going to do it. I'm literally going to be working with this coach. And even when I went to, the Costa Rica event, I'm like, let's have a conversation about it. But also, I'm confident. This is what I desire. Let's have a conversation of how we can make this work together. It's not like, oh, like I need to make sure from my partner that, like, you know, what do you think? It's like, no, I desire to go and do something, or I desire something in my life. And I would so love your support with it versus I wonder, if I wonder what my partner's going to think about it. And sometimes, depending on how much you share with your partner, like your partner might not fully understand every single thing that you're going through. Like even when it comes down to like, I want to feel more confident in my own skin. It's not like you're going to go to your partner like, hey, like I want to feel more confident. They're like, you're beautiful. Like you don't need to work on that. Or like you feel like you already look good. Or they might say things, where like well, just, don't buy those foods, or like, let's just do these crazy workouts. And you're like, that's not what I actually need. So I think also having the confidence to know even what to bring up to your partner. And if it's a matter of, do you need to be speaking to your partner about this? Or is it even like a mentor? And this is why, Andrew and I personally always have mentors in our lives, because there's also certain things that you sharing with your partner might not be actually beneficial for you or them, because there's just certain things that your partner might not understand, right? Like relationship with food, your partner might not understand. Even Andrew, when you were going through certain things, even in terms of like the depression and things like that, it's like a partner can only support you if they can always support you, but trying to get advice, or like, what do you think about this? It's sometimes hard for a partner to give you that advice if they haven't really gone through it themselves, which is why having mentorship is so important as well too.
The the greatest way to talk about this is like your partner is not your therapist, plus your workhorse, plus the person who holds space for you. The reason why mentors and family members and other people in supportive communities exist is because the definition of a partnership is you showing up as the best version of yourself, them showing up as the best version, and you create something even better. It's not my job to fix Lorna. And by supporting her, I'm not going to step into her life to try and fix things. Lorna was never broken. When she approached me and said, "Hey, look, I'm really struggling with my relationship with food," I had no idea what that was. No clue. I was like, "What are you talking about? I can teach you how to eat different." And she was like, "No, no, no, that's not it." And she was like, I'm having a really hard time in this is the way that I feel. And I knew in the moment I did not have the skills. I didn't even know what it was. I didn't understand how I could better help. And I knew that there was someone better that was going to be able to help her. So I could focus on doing what all partners do, which is just support in what ways that I can.
Yeah.
I didn't have to step in. I said, "What do you want to do?" And she was like, "Well, I found a mentor, I found a coach. Here's the person that I want to work with." And I said, "That's amazing. So here's how I'm going to support you with love, with care, with affection." That's the only support that a partner is supposed to provide.
Yeah.
We're not supposed to step in and take control of your life because that takes away control of you. I'm not supposed to step in and take authority over because, again, you have authority of your own life. You're two paths that have combined together and you're working towards the same, but you're still two paths.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where you have to step into yourself.
Yeah.
And so the things that we kind of talk about are different now. At the beginning, it was more we didn't understand how to talk to each other, so we almost used each other for many things. Now the conversations become more about our goals, what we want to accomplish, our visions, where we see each other going, where we see our family going, where we see our communities and our clients going. We start to see what it's like when we've expanded and we're traveling. And the reason why we continue to expand in our vision is so that way the vision stays always clear and in front of us and it stays connected in our energy.
Mm. You guys should be like a fly on the wall. For those of you guys who are coming to the event, you're going to be like a fly on the wall and like what we have conversations on, but it's so different. It's like we go out for dinner and we're talking about like our vision for like the next 5 years. We're talking about, okay, where do we want to be even in the next year? Okay, what are your top three values and priorities for these 3 years? Like, what is your mission? And I think that's so important in a relationship, to like, what are you actually talking about with your partner? Andrew and look, everyone has things that we can complain about, but we don't talk about things that aren't working well. Oh, this, all that. It's like, okay, what are we going to do in the next 5 years? Or like, oh my God, what's the next thing that we're going to work on? It's like, because you like that creates this energy, this creates this excitement, and it creates this like momentum of the direction that you want to go in. And oftentimes we even ask each other, what can I be doing better? And I think that is such a profound question. I'll never forget when we were in Costa Rica. I attended one of my mentors' retreats. We were sitting at lunch. This was before I actually went, and Andrew said, like, where I'm going, what do you see from me that I can even be doing better? Like, is there any blind spots, that you see? Like, what can I be doing better? And then I said the same thing. It's like, ooh, like, my vision and my big goal. It's like, do you see like any like blind spots or what I can specifically be doing better? Because sometimes we can only see so much, but I think it's so important to have that vision and always be open to growth and like not just okay, like what are we going to do today, what are we going to do this week, but it's also thinking like bigger picture. Like Andrew and I are constantly thinking like so big, like our big goals have expanded so much because of when you grow your goals become bigger.
The word that comes to my mind is exposure. The more you are willing to expose yourself to feedback, to honest opinions,
Mm-hmm.
to where you're playing small, that's how you become confident. A large part of growing strength is seeing where you are maybe not strong, where you can continue to grow in that way. Now, the key with that, though, is you're probably thinking to yourself, like, well, I don't know, my partner doesn't communicate with me like that. Or like, what if I say something and they're like, well, I'm not about that. That's okay. You actually don't have to be on the same page. And as a matter of fact, not being on the same page and sharing your goals and sharing your exposures helps your partner grow.
Mm-hmm.
We we were not always aligned.
Mm-hmm.
And we may look and feel aligned all the time on social media and what's there, but we've had a lot of conversations because it truthfully, Lorna has been a very, very big leader for me. She's led the forefront in growth. She's led the forefront in self development. She's led the forefront in awareness. And I started as a chronic doer and in my head kind of guy. I had no connections with my emotions whatsoever. But in her sharing her goals, in her sharing what she wants, in her becoming more confident, she made me want more. I started saying to myself, how can I be confident like that? How can I step more into myself? How can I become more in tune with my emotions? How can I become a better leader? How can I set bigger goals? Because some of the goals she set, I was like, holy shit, my goals are tiny as hell. And I didn't, I didn't I wasn't frustrated with her for it. I didn't resent her for it. I didn't hate her for it because as a partner, I love her unconditionally. When she would share a goal, I would be excited and then I would say to myself, I can be big like that. I can share goals and dreams like that. But the
Mm-hmm.
key is you have to have that willingness to step into it. Because if you don't step into that, if you don't develop that confidence first, you can't have your partner grow. There's always, and by the way, the periods of growth are totally different. You
Mm-hmm.
know, Lorna leads, I lead in different things, but the key is one person is always ahead of the other. And as a partner, you extend your hand and then your partner takes the hand and they continue to grow. I didn't have a lot of emotional integrity. Now I'm very in tune with my emotions, but someone had to lead to do that. If
Yeah.
she had never stepped in first, there'd be no way I'd still be way back there.
Yeah. I think a few things I want to talk about is often when you are on this journey of growth and self development and like you are healing yourself, some of your partners might not be at that level that you are going at, right? Like Andrew and I are very lucky that, we both have a very growth mindset, but sometimes it's like one partner might be going after these big dreams and goals and pushing themselves. And it's almost like this frustration of like, I'm growing so big and maybe your partner isn't ready for that. And I was actually talking to a private client about this. And I think sometimes it's not trying to get them to change, not trying to fix them, but it's more so I'm leading myself. I am doing this for myself. And it will literally be impossible for your partner to not fully come on board because when you are like so in your power and you're so confident and you're feeling amazing in your own skin and you're freaking glowing and you're so happy and you're so healthy. I've had so many of my clients tell me like their husbands are like, what have you been doing? Like, you've been clearly doing something incredible because like you're just this rate, like you're radiating this energy and this confidence. And then the partner starts to kind of become a little bit curious. And so, even for all of you guys on this call, it's like you lead for yourself first. You grow for you. You step into the unstoppable badass version of yourself. And as a result of that, you're going to be in a better mood. You're going to have more confidence. You're going to be glowing. You're going to be healthier. And then your partner is going to be like, whoa, like maybe I should step into this world of personal development. Maybe there's certain things that I actually want to work on myself. But you can't try to change them. They have to be on their own timeline, but it's a matter of I go first. This is my life. This is my life that we're freaking talking about. So I'm going to do the things that I know that I need to do that are going to benefit me. And most of the time, people end up coming around.
And it's not even and actually, Christine, I'll address your comment here. I appreciate you sharing that. It's not even the coming around. Here's what made me change my mind. Okay. Lorna became more attractive, not because became sexier. It wasn't an outfit, a thing. She didn't have to put on anything different. I
Oh, right. I
watched
told them that I could
my
wear a garbage bag and you would still think that I look.
truthfully, 100%, 100%. Because to me and to any partner, what is attractive, what is a draw, what makes partners want to move and do more for you and be more and be a better person for you and change for you is when they see you laugh. Like what's really attractive to me is like watching Lorna in her power, watching her laugh, watching her lead a room, watching her light up, listening to it's crazy. She's upstairs coaching you guys and I can only hear her and her energy, but I know she's having a blast. That's attractive. The level of confidence in the person that she stepped into is attractive to me. And then as a partner, I say, I want to be better and I want to be more for that.
Yep.
You
Yeah.
get more in a relationship with honey than you do with a stick. And that's exactly it. You can't compel, force your partner. Sorry, I wish you grow with me, do this. Don't do that. That's the stick. Instead, show up as a higher person.
Hmm.
Your partner is going to be I'm with this person. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Like I feel the attractiveness. I feel the sexy. That's what creates the draw. That's what makes people move.
Yeah.
It's energy. Energy in motion, emotion. That's what draws us and compels us. That's what gets us fired up. That's what makes two partners grow together.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's also like this feeling, right? Because like confidence, yes, you want to feel amazing in your own skin, right? Like that is important, but also it's like this like confidence is a feeling. It's this, I feel safe to express myself. I'm going to laugh. I'm going to be loud. Like we talked about yesterday, it's this safeness to express yourself, to go after your dreams, to go after your goals, to show up authentically as your true self, like unapologetically. Like I remember even Christine said yesterday, I just want to like live like authentically. Like that is so attractive. Andrew has always told me from the very beginning, what's most attractive to you is your personality, your passion. It's like that's what's more attractive. And so, even to build a stronger connection with your partner, it's like, how can I be more of me? How can I stop hiding certain parts of myself and fully express myself? Your partner wants to see you so happy and laughing and stepping into your power. Like, that is so attractive. When you're this unstoppable badass, like, holy moly, your intimate life is going to go through the roof because it's so attractive when you are in your power. A lack of confidence isn't sexy. Like true confidence is so attractive. It's like, I know what I want. I'm going to go after what I want. I'm taking such good care of myself. It's like, that's magnetic.
The if you take yourself back to the dating phase was really exciting. The dating phase, you probably felt more confident to wear the outfit that you wanted to wear or take your partner to the place that maybe you don't typically go to. And the reason why was not because you were a different person, but when someone expresses the interest in you, and when you start to say to yourself, I am worthy, I am worth it, I do deserve it, that energy gives you confidence, which lets you do all of the other things. And that keeping the dating phase, keeping the dating energy is how you continue to keep the confidence and grow. That's how we've grown.
Mm-hmm.
We make it exciting. We do other things, even things like we every Friday we have a date night that we choose, and in each person we alternate. So the other person does and is responsible for putting the date together. But like take it back to the time where confidence existed. And here's the thing, you already have the confidence in you. It's not that you don't have confidence and you need confidence. You already have confidence, but we can tap into it at every second of every day. Confidence is readily available to us,
Mm-hmm.
but somewhere along the line of growing your life, of becoming the person that you have been, you let your confidence waver. Somebody made a comment, you put you down a notch. You grew out of the dating phase, another confidence down a notch. You went to work, didn't get the position, or got passed up for a promotion, down a notch. And so what happened is you went from being this person who was incredibly confident to you stood in the back of the room.
And you got to get in the room.
100%. 100%. You don't belong in the back of the room. Straight
No,
up. That's why
no.
you're here.
Yeah.
That's why you're with Lorna. That's why we have gotten as far as we have gotten in our lives because we have taken steps to move forward. And moving forward means that you're willing to step up to the front of the room.
Yeah.
Front of the room's where the fun happens, by the way. And
Yes.
you know this. We've all been in rooms where two or three people centered around in conversations, and you're like, I wonder what's going on in that circle.
Yeah. Be that person. Be that
100%.
person that everyone's like, who is that person? Like I was funny. I was telling Andrew the other day, I was going to a yoga class and I said, like, hi to this person that I've seen a few times. And she's like, hey, Lorna. And I was like, how do you know my name? She's like, oh, your name's like always just talked about. And I was like, oh, okay. Be that person. Be that person. And it's not about like, look at me, but it's like, you know, again, it's all about like stepping into your power. And again, it's within you and you got to let it shine. It's like, is your flashlight on or is your flashlight off? The confidence is there, but are you actually doing the necessary steps to have that flashlight come on? Are you actually getting in the rooms? And this is a huge reason why I'm doing the Unstoppable Badass event. This is one way of literally skyrocketing your confidence, deciding I am worthy enough to get in the room. No more hiding behind a screen. No more saying, like, no, I can't. It's like, no, I can. Because the people that are confident are just, they just go for it. They say, I'm not going to play small anymore. It's like, I am going to get into the room. I'm going to turn on the light. I'm going to turn on the flashlight. I'm going to see myself glow again. I'm going to see myself feel confident again. It's the greatest feeling in the world. It's the greatest feeling in the world. Anything else you want to add before we talk into growth?
No, let's dive right into growth. I was actually going to talk about the growth because I think as as a partner, as a partner who truly cares about their relationship, it is your responsibility to grow always. Growth starts with you. If you want to grow your relationship, if you want to grow for your kids, if you want to grow business, anything, it always starts with you. You have to grow yourself. And self growth involves like every aspect. And here's the thing, the the area and where you're playing small is the area that will hold you back in. And I can share this from, and Lorna, you can share this from your personal self. But in myself, here's how my growth started. I started to work on my business, and then I realized I wasn't putting time into my relationships. And Lorna and I felt disconnected. And we had, it was probably a really big pivotal moment. Remember our Starbucks conversation? Okay. Where we were sitting in the Starbucks parking lot. We were like, if we are seriously going to make this work, we need to work on ourselves. And what happened is I had to grow in the level of my relationships because that was the weakest area in which I needed growth. And then as I started to grow in our relationship, what happened when I started to feel my depression was I had no connection to my emotions. And then I needed to work on my emotions because my emotions were holding me back. And once I worked on emotions, I grew a ton more. My business, my relationships, everything, my friendships, everything continued to grow. And then the area in which I'm working now is my spirituality. There was a disconnect. I was asking myself, why? What's my purpose? What am I working towards here? Growth never stops. And if you're finding that you're in a space where your growth isn't moving or it's really really crawling, it's because there's a place that hasn't been addressed. And this is where whatever the smallest thing is that you haven't put work into, that's what's holding you back.
Mm-hmm. I think something that we've done a really good job on, and all of you guys can really ask yourself this if you're practicing this, it's finding this balance between constant growth, constant evolution, while also balancing, I'm just going to take a moment to also see how far I've come. Because something that Andrew and I are always working on is like all of you guys, we're go getters, right? It's like, what's the next thing? What's the next thing? What's the next thing? And it's so easy to be like, what's the next thing? But it's like taking also a moment to be like, holy moly, like we've also come so far. And all of you guys have also come so far as well, too. And it's not about what's the next milestone or what's the next destination. It's like that will also come when you also take a minute to reflect on who you have already become, along with who you're going to become, not just who am I going to become and what's the next destination and what's the next milestone that I'm going to achieve. It's like one of a mentor said, 1 foot in gratitude and 1 foot in evolution. And it's like, I'm going to be grateful for all the things that I have done. And I'm going to reflect to see all the badass moves that I've made so far. And also, what's my next move? So it's like almost like, I probably do this on like a monthly basis. It's like, okay, what are all the things that I've stepped into, the fear that I leaned into, the progress that I've made, the successes that I've accomplished. I'm going to reflect on that. And then also, what's the next thing? But it's not just, oh, look how far I've come. Oh, that's good enough. And it's also not what's the next thing, what's the next thing, what's the next thing. It's the balance between the two of how far I've come, celebrate. I'm so proud, but also we don't just stop here. There's always new levels of growth. There's always another evolution of yourself. And one of my favorite parts about life is like there's so much like untapped potential that all of us hasn't even tapped into yet. You can be like this go-getter, but there's always that next step. There's always another level for you. There's always more potential. And I find that like so exciting. And it's not to be like, oh my God, look how much I have so much, like I have so much further to go. It's like it becomes this exciting thing of like, ooh, like I wonder where I'm going to be in the next month. Like, I wonder how much more confident I can become. I wonder how much better my relationship with food can get. I wonder how much better my relationships can be. Balancing those two will allow you to always be grateful for what it is that you have and always allowing you to like move up this this ladder as you would say of like success and stepping into your full potential.
When when Lorna first started our journey together, we were just personal trainers. And if you would tell me now that we would be as far as we are, I wouldn't have even begin to dream this. And sometimes you don't have to see all the way to the goal, to the destination. You just have to see your next step. And we've transformed so much into business owners, into it, like we've changed so many different things. But when Lorna talks about expanding the boundaries, whenever we set a goal, whether it's a goal with each other or even a goal for ourselves, we always take a look at this goal and say, how do I 100x this? And sometimes it looks so big that you say to yourself, I don't even know how. Here's the best part about growth: the how will show itself to you as you go along. Like I declared at the end of 2024, I'm going to write a book. And you know what? I'm not an author yet, but guess what? This November coming, there will be a book. Just like the first time I declared I will speak on stage, never spoke in front of everyone. Now I'm working to speak towards a TEDx stage. That didn't happen just overnight. It happened by making a decision and saying to myself, what does this expansion look like?
Mm.
A large part of our relationship is living in the growth and seeing what the growth for each other looks like, because that's where we begin to push the boundaries of this relationship. My vision for speaking wasn't just to speak to 20 people. I want to speak to 10,000 people. I want to fly out to stages where there's hundreds of thousands of people. Why not fill a stadium? I don't know how I'm going to do that, but I don't have to. And that's when you lean into growth and you say to yourself, what do I want for myself? It has to start with you. Because here's why you have to expand really big. You're going to get something that's called a contraction. This is where you get all the feelings and the emotions that show you where you need to grow to become that person. You want to become this unstoppable badass, and you're like, I want to become this badass. I want to do this. I want to wear this outfit. I want to glow every single day, and I want to walk into a room full of confidence. And then you're going to feel a contraction. And the contraction is everything you need to look at and you need to work through for you to become that person. Your body will show you. The feeling comes back and it goes, well, I don't know. Who am I to feel that way? Cool. You have a worthiness thing that you need to work at. Or I don't know if I believe that I can get there. You need to work on your beliefs. I'm afraid that I might fail. You need to look at your fear. That's why we focus on the growth. That's why we ask each other growth questions. It's also why I'm curious to see what her growth is next, because it allows me to then look into myself and see maybe where am I playing small.
Hmm.
And that's how we address that.
I think a lot of people like a huge thing that kind of holds people back from stepping into this unstoppable badass version of themselves. It's how, but how do I feel confident, but how do I feel better in my own skin? Like, what are the steps? And you don't even have to know the steps. What you need is self-belief. What you need is to believe that I am not different. What you need to believe is I get to experience that. When I say that you get to have it all, you get to have it all, but do you actually believe that? Because the person that has the confidence, the body, the health, the energy, all those things, they actually just believe that I can do this. The difference between somebody who has it all and somebody who doesn't have it all yet is that person that has it all went for it. They weren't wondering how, they weren't wondering, like, what are the steps? Like, how can I actually get there? It's just like, this is what I desire. This is what I want for myself. And I'm going to go after it. I believe that I'm not different. I believe that I can have confidence. I believe that I can feel amazing in my own skin, even if that's not your reality right now, because guess what? I wasn't always this confident person. But I could have said, but how could I be confident? I'm not in a body that feels good right now. But how can I be confident? I don't look like her. But how can I? How? And it keeps you stuck versus I want that. I desire that. What is holding me back from actually believing that I can step into that? And when you actually turn up the dial, even on your self belief of like, I truly get to have it all, like actually getting so honest with yourself, it's like, I can have it all. There's literally, imagine if nothing held me back. It's like I can become that person, but it's the thoughts, it's the comparison, it's the judgment, it's wondering how oh, it's going to take so long or it's going to be a lot of work. It's like that's where people get tripped up. It's the decision to say, I am going to become this unstoppable badass. And then you just figure out how as you start taking action. The how always presents itself when you have that vision and you know exactly what it is that you want for yourself.
Lorna talks about the vision, and I'd say having a clear vision is one of the things that has really helped us in our relationship be really strong. Having a vision is being intentional. You have to choose to be the best version of yourself daily. Like you have to choose daily to stay in a relationship. You have to choose your partner daily to continue to grow. It's a daily choice. And that means being intentional. And one of the things which I mean, I would be really excited to unpack during the 2 day experience because I think it's going to be phenomenal. Is showcasing that you can go a lot more with your intention, with thinking, with being, than you can just action and doing and asking yourself how. If you think of something as simple, and this is where like being intentional with your relationship is so powerful. Every thought and everything that you're working towards, you're always spending more time with the belief work and with the thoughts. Because if your intention is off even by 1 degree, think of it like a flight. If the plane takes off on the runway and is 1 degree off from where it's supposed to go, 500 kilometers into that flight, you're pointing at a whole different country. And this is where sometimes, if you think to yourself, there's things in my relationship that didn't turn out the way that I want. Be at a certain destination by now, but I'm with tension was not lined up. And like the reason why I talk about this and the relationship is we weren't also aligned all the time. And as partners, we had to do a lot of work to almost backpedal in order to meet each other back at the same spot to then move forward again. And this is why it's so important for you ladies to work on yourself and make sure that you're continuing to grow and you're in full alignment. Because if you're not, then you might end up in a destination that you don't want to be, or a spot where you find yourself, you're where you are, but you're not happy.
Mm-hmm. I think, you know, growth individually, growth as a couple is so important. But just getting honest with yourself, as I always say, it's like, am I doing everything in my power? I want you to like ask yourself this question today. Am I 100% giving myself all of the desires of my heart? Am I truly going all in? Am I truly going all in? Because you guys, we have one life. We have one freaking life. And feeling confident, going after the goals that you want, being this unstoppable badass, it's like it is so available to you. But sometimes it's just like, oh, wait a minute. It's having that conversation like, am I truly going all in? Am I giving 100% of myself to this journey? Because sometimes that's the difference. It's like, oh, wait, this is where I'm playing a little bit small, or this is where I'm letting fear, kind of creep in a little bit. This is where I'm kind of doubting myself. And just those small moments with yourself can be the biggest difference of like, wait a minute, I can be playing so much bigger. It's like that could be the difference between you feeling, okay, I'm feeling a little bit more confident to like skyrocketing your confidence. It's like nothing's going to hold me back anymore. This is my one life. I get to feel so freaking good in my own skin. I'm not letting anything stop me. I'm changing my thoughts from now on. I'm redirecting my thoughts from now on. I'm getting in the room. I'm stepping out of my comfort zone. Like it's when we think that we're making these big moves, it's like, okay, but am I actually? Like, am I 100% giving it my all? I've had so many conversations with myself of like, okay, Lorna, you've already like said yes to yourself a few times, but it's like, where else can you just keep on going, keep on going, keep on going? And again, that's what makes somebody turn from a badass to this unstoppable badass.
I love when you talk about going all in. Lorna and I are not casino people. And we're not casino people because there would not be a single hand, which we would not be like, boom, all of this on one number. They'd be like, are you crazy? And like, that's just how we operate. And we do so because here's what outweighs your fear. If you're scared about making the biggest step into you, if you're scared in making this choice to step into an unstoppable badass, trust. Trust.
Yep.
Life always works out for you.
Mm-hmm.
It's always worked out for us.
Yeah.
You are where you are right now because it has worked out. And so this act of pushing in all the chips, you don't take one of your chips and put it in the back pocket as a just in case, and oh, I'm gonna have a plan B. We're not plan B people. So we would be terrible at casinos. Let's not. That'd be the only place. Don't go and go all in like that all the time. But when it comes to your life, there is no plan B. You are stepping into the best version of you every single day. It means you need to go all in. That it's the only option.
We had a conversation by the park. I think this was like the end of October, end of August. And we were like, wait, like our life is really good right now. We've got a good relationships, things are going good, but it's like, how can we take everything to the next level? And that's when I told you, like, I'm going to this retreat in Costa Rica. This is when, we said to ourselves, like, we don't want to just live a good life. We want to live an extraordinary life, which means we have to make those big moves and take those big risks. And again, when you trust yourself, I never worry. When I make a big decision in my life, I'm not worried. I always say, I trust myself. It's all good. Like I got my back. But if you don't trust yourself, then you're like, I'm not going to make that big scary move because what if you can't have that? it's like I'm going to trust myself. And the more you trust yourself, the bigger moves you make, which means the better results, the bigger you go, the more you actually step into your full potential. My mom even said, Lorna, like, you've always taken really big risks. And I'm like, that's all I know because I built up that trust. I'm confident in who I am. And the more you guys can all step into that trust and that confidence, you're going to start to do things that once scared you. And now it's just like, no brainer. It's like, of course I'm doing that big thing. And again, the people around you are going to be like, what are you doing? Are you crazy? And you're like, this is just my norm. Like, this is just my norm. Like, you know? So, anything else you want to wrap up with?
Just in the aspect of trust, whether you have partners or not on this call, um, one of the questions that me and Lorna always like get asked, especially by couples, is like, like I want to expand, I want to go big, I want to do this thing, and it's like, how can I like convince my partner or do this or like how can I get them on board with me if I want to explode and really do this thing? When you fully trust, your partners trust you. When you don't trust yourself, your partners mirror you with uncertainty.
Mm-hmm.
If Lorna comes to me with an idea and she says, I don't know, Andrew. I mean, I've kind of, I'm not quite sure. I already know already. Oh, I'm nervous. I'm nervous because she's nervous. Whenever she makes a decision or a commitment, whenever you ladies want to make a decision or a commitment, step into it, fully believe it. And when you share, you'll know you'll fully believe it because your partner will fully believe you.
Like,
There's no question.
when I say I'm going to do something to Andrew, I'm not like, what do you think? I'm like, I'm doing this. This is the move I'm going to make. I'm hiring this mentor. I'm flying across the country to go to this retreat. Like, I'm doing it. And then your partner is like, wow, this is clearly something that's very important for you. Imagine if you were like, so I don't really know. Like, what do you think? Then they're going to be like, I don't really know. But if you're like, this is so important for me and I'm so excited and this is going to change my life and with whatever it is, it's like they see your excitement, they see your passion. They're like, wow, like this must be something that's very important for you. You know, when you own what it is that you want, you own your confidence. It's like your partner sees that and then it's so much easier for them to actually support you because you're not wavering and questioning. I'm doubting. I don't know. It's like, this is what I'm doing. I go to Andrew all the time. Anytime I'm making a big move, I'm like, by the way, I'm doing this. And then we have a conversation, of course, but I'm like, I'm doing this, you know? And I think that's really important as well, too.
And the conversation too changes because when you go with uncertainty, the conversation starts as, how can I? Or sorry, the conversation starts as, can I do this? Can
Yes.
I do this? Versus when you go with certainty, the conversation becomes, how can I? How can I do this?
Yes.
Hey, this is something I want to commit to. And then your partner goes, okay, let's figure out how we do it.
Yeah. We
The
we
conversation and the tone becomes totally different when you show up with certainty versus uncertainty.
Yeah. We've had, I've shared even yesterday on like even the big investments that I've made in myself and in mentorships and going to events and things like that. And it's always a matter of how can I make this work? It's like, I want to do this. So how am I going to make it work versus can I do this? Should I do this? It's like, this is what I want. How can we make it work together? And that's a really beautiful conversation to have.
And truthfully, like I'll say this, I'll be bold and I'll say this. You can't afford not to. There's something in life called opportunity cost. And the two biggest expenses in your life. First one will be taxes. Second one is going to be you not following through on your dreams. That'll cost you more than anything that you will ever know. And that's opportunity cost. When me and Lorna look at investing, whether it's as a couple, whether it's as individuals, I don't look at what is the cost of something. Everything has a dollar value. Big surprise, the dollar value always goes up. That's not actually how we look at investments for ourselves. I say to myself, if I invest in this, what is the opportunity that I will receive? That's opportunity cost. And that's how we talk about things together. What is this opportunity going to cost for us to do this thing, for us to go to this retreat, for us to go to this event? What is the opportunity cost for us to host an event like this? What is the opportunity cost for us to travel as many times as we have?
Mhm.
Because there is opportunities there.
Yeah.
But if I'm always looking at it from how much is it taking away from me, how am I going to justify anything then?
And it's not a logical decision as
No,
well.
it's not.
Like I shared with you all, we're Andrew and I are very open. And it's like, when I went to this Costa Rica event, it was like two days. It was 10,000 US, which for me is 13K plus flights. It was like a $20,000 2 day weekend, essentially. Does that make logical sense? No, people are gonna be like, you're crazy. But I said, what's the opportunity? Being around other people that are successful, that have what I want, giving my heart the desires, and stepping out of my comfort zone and growing and expanding, that's worth more than like that's worth like you can't put a price tag on that. You can't put a price tag on your happiness, on your growth, on your evolution, on the results that you're going to gain from an experience like that. So something that Andrew and I also, and of course, yeah, like you do need to talk finances and all those things, but I'm always like, okay, it's not just the money. It's like, what am I going to get out of this? It's not like, oh, this is how much it costs. It's like, what is it costing us to not do the big things that we want to do in our life as well too?
And then it's funny. You know what we did with those 2 days? We increased our opportunity cost and we were like, why don't we just extend this into like what was it, like 7 days? We were just like, we'll go a couple days before, a couple days after, we'll go some spots in Costa Rica. And so like it's funny because like it actually ended up being a greater experience by
Yeah.
just like again like pushing ourselves out of our comfort zone even more. So like it's great. It's a really great thing to be able to lean into that.
Well, that's actually what Leela's doing. So she's flying from the UK and she's like, I'm going to make a week long trip and just explore some places. And she's even rooming with Christine, which is going to be so amazing.
Nice. I love it.
Look at the opportunities. Now, Christine and Leela are going to build such a strong bond. And it's like that friendship that you guys are going to build, that's worth everything. These relationships with people that get you, that is worth more than any amount of money that you can actually spend in your life. Feeling seen, feeling connected. Like, oh, this sisterhood, this badass community. It's like that is so special. I've built friendships at certain events and it's like I still talk to them today. It's like you build such a strong relationship with them. So it's so much more than like what is just like the cost. It's like what is it also costing me to not do this? And I always think about that. All right. Christine's so excited. Marlene's working on switching her entire life around so she can come. No, all right, you guys, we're gonna wrap things up. But honestly, I am just so excited. And I am giving you guys this opportunity of a lifetime to come to the event. And, for those of you guys who already purchased your ticket, like we're going to have the time of our lives. We're going to grow. We're going to expand. We're going to have these amazing conversations. And for those of you guys who have not yet purchased your ticket yet, like get in the room, purchase your ticket. This is an opportunity for you to expand, to step into your badass self. That becoming an unstoppable badass version of yourself, it actually starts the moment you say, yes, I purchased my ticket, I'm declaring it. There's no, oh, well, I'm going to wait. It's like at any given moment, you can decide to go from a badass to an unstoppable badass with every single decision that you choose to make. it's not this far off thing of like, oh, it's so far off. It's like, I'm just going to decide. I'm going to make it work. I'm going to find a way. And I get to become this unstoppable badass. The decision that you choose right now to say yes to yourself, the next 3 months, your life is going to change. Your entire identity shifts because you see yourself differently. You're like, holy shit, did I just do that? Oh my God, I'm going to the event of the year. Holy freaking moly. And then you start seeing yourself differently, and then your actions change, and how you feel about yourself changes because you see yourself as this unstoppable badass. You're like, yeah, I'm not playing small anymore. Look at me. Like every single time I've ever made a scary move, my identity shifts the moment I say, go. Yes, I'm going. And so even though the badass event isn't for the next few months, the next 3 months, your identity is going to shift because of you saying, yes, I am stepping into her right now. So many of you guys know there's the 15 spots. There's the 15 spots for the exclusive meet and greet the night before. So it's going to be very exclusive. You get to meet myself, as Christine says, the mama badass or the badass. And then all of the other 15 people the next 15 people that purchase their ticket as well too. We'll do a little exclusive meet and greet, but you have to be the first 15. After the 15, you won't get that exclusive meet and greet that we'll be doing the night before, late at night as well too. So get your ticket, message me if you have any questions, and we're just so fired up and so excited. And Andrew will be there for a little bit to guest speak as well too.
Absolutely. I had to pull freaking teeth to guest speak. That's how I was like, this room is so powerful. I was like, please, can I share something? And she's like, oh, I don't know. I was like, no, 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 please, please. So I worked my butt to get in the room, just like you ladies. I'm super pumped to be a part of it. So and I'm glad that I get to be there for even if it's just for a little bit, I get to be there. So
Yes, it's going to be amazing. So thank you guys so much. Go get your tickets. Step into the unstoppable badass version of yourself. It's a decision that you can make today that will change the rest of your life. And I cannot wait to see you guys in person, being in the room. It's going to be incredible. All right, you guys, we'll see you then. Okay. Bye.
yeah, bye.